Welcome to Whiskey's a Journey. My name is Peter Fossiano. Today's journey, we're sticking around the Middleton Distillery and we're going to be taking a look at Greenspot. This is another single pot still Irish whiskey. This is produced in the Middleton Distillery for Mitchell & Son, and we're going to get to that a little bit later. So let's go ahead and pour this, nose it, taste it, talk about it, and then give it a score. If you guys are new to the channel and this is the first time you're here, I'm doing a mini series, which is probably going to be more than a mini series. I think it's going to be somewhere around 14 or 15 weeks dealing with Irish single pot still whiskeys. I'm going to be going over the majority of the Irish whiskeys that I have in my collection and review each one. My first one was the Redbreast 12. Second one's going to be Greenspot. I thought I'd do probably the most two popular single pot still whiskeys and then kind of go from there. So if you do like this information, before I get into this, like, subscribe, share, do all those things that YouTubers ask you to do. Now let's go ahead and get onto the nose. The first thing that I get, which is the most outstanding note, is going to be a green Jolly Rancher. This is a very sweet smelling whiskey. And whenever I have a really dominant note, it takes me a little while and sometimes I can't get it at all. What is actually underneath that initial robust note? Concentrating a little bit further, I do get vanilla with a very, and I'm talking a very slight amount of spice, a cooking spice. All right, let's get it on the palate. On the palate, it is sweet. It's clean. It's crisp. It's not going to overpower you with ABV. And then back behind the sweetness, I end up getting that traditional pot still spice. And before we get any further, let's go over the stats. This is going to be a 40% ABV Irish single pot still whiskey. Like I mentioned, this is produced in Middleton for Mitchell & Son. It does not have an age statement, but it's rumored to be somewhere around 7 to 10 years old. This is aged in new and refilled bourbon barrels along with sherry casks. Coming in at 40% ABV, this is probably chill filtered and there's added color to it. This is a 750 milliliter bottle, and at the time that I purchased this, I paid $46.99. And from what I can tell, passing by this on the shelves, I think it's sticking around that price range, so that's a good thing. And as I've been sitting here talking about this, looking at the finish on here, I would say that it's a short to medium. The thing that lingers around the most is going to be that Jolly Rancher apple note and a tiny, I mean tiny amount of spice. Let's go ahead and get that second sip down, see if I can pull anything else out of it. Second sip, definitely a little bit more spice. That fruity apple note is still there. It seems to be elevated a little bit more. Now I'm starting to get a little bit more of a barrel tannin on the side. That oak comes in, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of honey. Even though these are being aged in sherry casks, I'm not getting much of a sherry cask influence here at all. This is a very pleasant experience, nice, easy sipper. I think this would be a good one to have during the summertime. Maybe throw a little bit of ice cube in there. I don't think I would put water in here. I think it's not going to hold up too well with that. So I would either drink it neat or throw an ice cube in it. Drink it while it's cold. I think it's going to be pretty refreshing. And if you do put an ice cube in there, make sure it's a big chunk of ice because you don't want the ice melting all that fast to dilute it. But it's going to be your whiskey. Drink it the way that you like it. If you want to put water in it, go ahead, put water in it. If you want to keep drinking it neat, drink it neat. If you want to put tiny ice cubes in there, feel free to do that. It's your world. I'm just telling you guys what I think of the whiskey. All right, so what do we know about Mitchell & Son? Well, they've been around since the 1800s. Somewhere around 1805, the name popped up. I guess they had some sort of confectionery shop, and then they became wine merchants and bonders in 1887, and that's kind of when they got into the whiskey business. They would take their spent wine barrels, they would travel down to Middleton Distillery, which was Jameson at the time. They would fill them up, they would take them back, and they would end up aging these things underneath the streets of Dublin. And whoever was in charge of the barrels at the time would actually go down and put paint spots on the barrels that would indicate what they thought would be the appropriate age for that barrel. They would put red spots for the 15-year barrels, yellow for 12, 10 for green, and 7 for blue. And just like any Irish distillery, there were these big highs, these low lows, and then a resurgence. And this is no different. As soon as the whiskey bust of Ireland happened, all of the distilleries ended up combining into Jameson, with the exception of maybe one or two. And then as Irish whiskeys started to become a little bit more relevant and they started to boom again, they started to have a resurgence. Greenspot was actually shipped to the United States back in 2014. And as I go through these Irish whiskey reviews, I'm going to give you guys a little bit more information on the history of Irish whiskey. So once again, if you're interested in this information and you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor and subscribe. It only takes a little second. Just go ahead and click on that little subscribe button. And if you're familiar with Irish whiskey or Greenspot, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of it. All right, let's go ahead and get that last sip in and then move on to the score. From my first sip to the fourth sip, maybe to the fifth sip, this has been very consistent. There's a nice amount of green apple sweetness, a touch of spice. There's a good amount of vanilla and honey, a little bit of barrel tannin, which is always a good thing. And still, I do not get any sherry notes. This might just be today, but I'm struggling to find the sherry cask influence here. All right, so my scoring system is going to be out of 5 stars. I think this is a good representation of single pot still Irish whiskey, just like the Redbreast 12. The Redbreast 12 and the Greenspot have different flavor profiles, but I think they represent the Irish whiskey category rather well. So because of that, I am going to end up giving this one 3.5 stars. This is a good, sweet, well-rounded, easy drinking single pot still. I honestly don't think you can go wrong with either one. And actually, based on the price of Redbreast 12, their standard release, not their cask strength, based on the amount of money that you would spend on the Redbreast 12, this comes in slightly less expensive, gives you a little bit of a different flavor profile. And if you're looking to save a little bit money, I would go for this one over the Redbreast 12. As an entry-level single pot still Irish whiskey at 40%, I think you can do a little bit worse than this and the Redbreast 12. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, do all those things that YouTubers ask you to do. Like, subscribe, share, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of Greenspot or any of the Irish pot still whiskeys. If you have any suggestions on what to review, if I have it in my collection, I'll go ahead and make sure I throw it into the reviews. That's where I'm going to leave it. Enjoy your journey. We'll talk to you guys next time. Bye. Yeah, I keep searching for the sherry cask influence here. Maybe it's just me for this review, but I can't get it. That green Jolly Rancher apple note is just overpowering everything.